So I had a few questions brought to my attention on wondering what kind of incubator I use and what the process entails. So I wanted to give you a little insight to my setup here. It's very small. I actually got into incubating chickens probably about 3 years ago now. And like I said in my earlier video, this is my first time for ducks. So it is a learning process. There is not a lot of differences between incubating chickens and ducks. Ducks have a 28-day incubation cycle, whereas chickens only have a 21-day, so it's an extra week. But I wanted to kind of run you through before the ducks hatch and show you my setup here. Now, we are in my multi-purpose room on my little farmhouse here. I do crafting and other things too, so bear with me here. It is a small, compact unit, but it's worked great, and I've had huge success with hatching chickens and incubating chickens here. As you can see, I do have two incubators. What I use is actually called a still air incubator. I find that these are a little more challenging, but I like a good challenge. So you can find them at your local Tractor Supply or any place that does any farming equipment. And basically what it is it's just your standard heater core or heating rod here. And then you have your grate inside. These wells here are where you put your water in because it's very important that you have water for humidity. And this little gadget here is actually super helpful. So when you go to incubate eggs, you have to rotate them a few times a day if you don't have one of these. This is a rotating tray and this saves me so much time. Now this is for chicken and my duck eggs just happen to fit in it perfectly, but you can also change these trays out for quail eggs. It's actually really neat. So this is probably about $60 at Tractor Supply. This is about the same, but it's well worth your time and money. So you don't have to try to schedule rotating eggs 3 to 4 times a day. Something else I like to use is I do have a digital thermometer in here, but your incubator will come with a normal thermometer. It's hard to see, sorry about that. A normal thermometer. I like to know what the ambient air temperature is in there. Oh, this is your gauge too. So that you have to play around with. It's good when you are incubating to set this up and do kind of a temperature check for about 3 days prior. So you want to warm up your incubator beforehand so that your temperature is set before you do anything else. Otherwise, it is a never-ending battle. And that temperature fluctuation can actually cause a lot of problems. One of the other tips that I want to tell you too, as you can see, I have my thermometer stuck in here. I actually used one of my daughter's thermometers just to kind of see what the temperature was up top here, but this works much better. So if you can get a digital thermometer as well as your regular thermometer, it works perfect. When you go to set this up, this tray goes inside, you put your eggs in, you get your temperature ready. There's these two holes here that are really important. Now, you cover both of these up until 3 days before you take your eggs out of the rotator. Now, the reason why you take your eggs out of the rotating tray is they have to be able to settle themselves for hatching. And it's actually a lot more complicated than you think, but they can't be moved or rotated anymore. For 3 days, they just sit there and they finally get in their hatching position. You take one off, which I kind of have mine a little bit closed off right now, but this one comes off at day 3 before they hatch. This one will come off when they start hatching. It's really important. Usually they have plugs. Mine are long gone, but tape over them works perfectly to keep the humidity regulated in there. Also, you'll need a nice cheap little Walmart spray bottle because the last 3 days you're going to want to spritz your eggs with water. That's the only time you'll open this, is to spritz your eggs so that they stay good and moist. Something else that I use and I love is this little flashlight here. This is what I use to candle everything. It's called Incubating. As you can tell, it is plenty bright. And that's what I used to make the last video, is I actually built a little box so that this could sit up in it, and I was able to candle the eggs and still have both hands available. But this has been super handy, super lightweight, and it's really, really bright. Okay, so if I back up here, we have my incubators, which this one's not currently being used. And this is my little box setup. Now I found this, it was an old baker's counter or baker's cupboard, but the back was missing on it. So this tote I got at Walmart fits in there perfectly. And what I do is once these guys are ready to come out of the incubator, I just put them in here. I have a 75-watt light bulb in there for heat. And then I don't have any of the food or waters in yet. They usually take a day to 2 to eat or drink. I will put them in there though once they are in the thing so that they get used to having it there. But that is my little setup. I store all my stuff in my drawers here, and it just actually works really well. So I hope that helps, that you can see the setup and what I use and how I use it. And hopefully at the end of this video, you will see little baby ducks. Here's a preview of the rest of my duck adventures. So please like, subscribe, and watch.